Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to all the sincere Akim, keeping their garments, laboring in true sincerity, and putting on as the elect of the Most High. Today, I'm going to some more, scriptures for brothers coming into the truth. This is Deuteronomy 18:9. It says, "When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do at the abominations of the nations." So we know that, first and foremost, that Israel is basically over, the Most High chosen people, peculiar people, and that, the nations, they're not under the laws, they're not going to follow the laws. They don't have fear of the Most High. So basically, we're not supposed to conduct ourselves in the manner in which they conduct themselves because they don't have fear of the Most High, and they don't have, the spirit that the Most High gave to the nation of Israel to want to do the right thing. So we're not supposed to do like them. We're not supposed to become assimilationists. We're not supposed to accept or have the mentality of, when in Rome, do as the Romans. We're not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to have a zeal to want to basically do after righteousness. All right. So this is next scripture is 1 Samuel 15:22. So and Samuel said, "Have the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams." Because, back in the Old Testament days, you had they would sacrifice animals or turtle doves or whatever according to the sin was. But it's like now in these days, we're under grace, but at the same time, you don't want to just sin, because so it's saying to obey is better than sacrifice. So that's what the Most High wants you to do, is be obedient to His word and what He basically commanded us to do in these days. Sirach 2:2. It says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in times of trouble." So you're supposed to get your heart or your mind in order and constantly endure. Just like I said earlier about Job, he's the example of suffering and knowing that the Lord, he's gonna do, just because he does, if he does good, he's gonna do things that we perceive as being negative. So it says, constantly endure and make not haste in times of trouble. So even when these bad things or afflictions happen to you, you're not supposed to make unwise decisions. You're supposed to be circumspect and calculated in everything that you do. Basically, it's Proverbs 30. So like Proverbs 23:4. It says, "Labor not to be rich. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom." So we're not supposed to be, like the scriptures say, and I believe it's Proverbs, when King Solomon was saying, "Give me neither poverty nor riches," but things, basically what he was saying was he doesn't want to be rich, because a lot of times rich people, their pride are puffed up, or don't give me poverty, because poor people, they gotta steal. So he wanted things, he wanted that balance. So it says, "Labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom." So what, anything outside of the scriptures or outside of what the Most High told us, we're supposed to not, cease from basically doing that. See, this is Hebrews 13:5. It says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So it said, let your conversation. So conversation is talking about, of course, your conduct, manner, way, fashion, manner of life, character. So it says, let your conversation be without covetousness. So you're not supposed to desire, what other people want and want to take that and all that stuff. So it says, and be content with such things as ye have. So just like I was saying a second ago, you want to be content with what you have. Work with things that are, functional or whatever. It's about the functionality of things, not having the best of things, and what I'm saying. Like say like me, if I have a car, I would want it to get me from point A to point B. I wouldn't want like a Bentley or a Mercedes Benz or a Lexus or nothing like that. That's or a Ferrari or something like that. You know what I mean? For he have said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So the Most High is never gonna basically leave us astray or basically forsake us. He's always gonna have our back as long as we do His will to the best of our ability. This is Matthew 5:25. It says, agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So, something that experience that comes to mind is like one day, me and the brother that I would teach with McQuad, we were going to Lancaster or whatever to handle some business or whatever, and we got pulled over by the police, and it was like a speeding ticket or whatever, but they asked him, for his ID and all this stuff, which it wasn't really necessary. Like I was driving and all that, what I mean? It wasn't even like I was necessarily going that fast. But it's just like they just kind of targeted us, but instead of us getting an attitude and giving them lip and all that stuff like that, we basically tried to get out of the situation before it escalated or whatever, you know what I mean? Because, look at what they're doing to Jakes now. They're shooting Jakes, they're doing all this kinds of wickedness and crazy stuff. So that's basically, what you want to try and avoid. So this is what, the advice Yahawashi was giving us basically. So, let's see. Salakia. This is Job 27. Job chapter 27, verse 6. It says, my righteousness I hold fast and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me so as long as I live. So it says, my righteousness I hold fast, because basically, our ways, our righteous ways, we try and keep them, no matter what, in spite of whatever happens, we try and basically keep our righteous ways. So it says, and I will not let them go, because we know that, we're basically doing the will of Yahawah Sham Yahawashi, so we're not trying to, leave those things and go back into the world and return back to return to our own vomit, as the scriptures say. This is the book of Psalms 119:4. It says, thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. And what is the precepts? The precepts is basically the laws of the Most High. So we're supposed to keep them, diligently, and not basically, go off. So that's why you should be reading your sword, trying to meditate on the scriptures, because basically this is what's gonna keep you pure, because you got to keep these things in mind, because remember, we live in a wicked society. And if you basically follow after the ways of the society, you're basically gonna go off. If you start daydreaming, slipping, so to speak, you're gonna basically go off. So you got to be really mindful of being diligent as far as keeping the laws. All right, so let's see. Uh, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll probably get another one in for the days up, Lord willing. Shalom.